The South African BDS Coalition is staging a protest at the U.S. consulate in Sandton. The group says Israeli terror is not welcome in South Africa. It claims the Agoa Forum is a pro-Israel U.S. forum and advances the interests of U.S. and other imperialists. eNCA's Hloni Mtimkulu is tracking that story for us and joins us for the very latest. A very good afternoon to you, Hloni, and thank you for joining us. Give us a sense of the level of support this particular protest has received and the kind of conversations that are currently underway amongst those that are against any relations with the US because of the conflict in the Middle East.
Yeah, Rufiwa, so this morning outside the Expo Center in Nasrec, there were maybe 150 to 200 people that gathered for that protest, and they were very much saying that South Africa shouldn't be having trade relations with the US, or they should be looking elsewhere for these trade relations. That has there really been an economic benefit to South Africa being part of the Agoa Forum? And so they were saying, there should be other things, or there could be other things to be done. They were calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. They were saying, why is the Israeli embassy open? So that was, as I said, 150 to 200 people. But as you can see now, Ted is showing you thousands of people that have gathered here, that gathered outside the U.S. consulate in Sandton from around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And they are saying, if you can see some of the signs, one of them says Zionism is terrorism. There's another one that says, that quote from Nelson Mandela, that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians, and shut down the Israeli embassy or be complicit in genocide. So there is a big sense of protest and a big sense of support against Israel and U.S. The poster for this protest actually says, Rufia, U.S.-Israeli terror not welcome in South Africa. A number of organizations are part of this, including Al Jamaa, I see at the bottom of this poster, and I am going to be speaking to a member of Al Jamaa who is also a councillor in the city of Johannesburg, Mr. Imran Musa. So maybe first of all, your organization, you're all working together, the different organizations. What message are you trying to send out now, and what happens after today?
Okay, thank you so much, Hloni. Firstly, my name is Councillor Imran Musa. I'm from Asia, and obviously a very patriotic South African, and more so a patriotic humanitarian. So in terms of human dignity, honor, and the safety and protection of life, and this is why we're out here today, and like many other countries across the world, you will have noticed that they're all standing out just for a simple cause of justice, to ensure that the right of life is ensured and that we have a cause for justice stood by. And what we're trying to demonstrate here today, as in many other countries and here in Sandton, Johannesburg, is for the simple reason that we want to stand up for ensuring that the UN resolutions are upheld. And presently it's not upheld. The Americans, as well as the Israelis, have ignored it blatantly, and they have actually torn the UN resolution, as you must have seen. And this causes concern for humanity, because then you have no justice. Remember, to have justice, you need peace. And in terms of what's taking place presently, much of the land is being usurped, and the Israelis don't want to leave the occupation of the Palestinian land. And this is causing lives to be lost. It is sad to be in the state of affairs in the world, to find that there is no law and justice to ensure that your simple homes are taken care of. The Palestinians, what they're going through today is an indictment on the world, on the UN resolutions, on the UN law, to ensure that human lives are protected. For 75 years, there has been occupation of the Palestinians. They have had tolerance, they have had patience, and their patience has led to some kind of resistance sometime or the other. And this is where we are presently, in the state of how this resistance is taking place. And as you see here, many of these demonstrators that are out here are purely on a humanitarian basis. And
Councillor Musa, I'm just going to have to wrap it there, but thank you so much for that, just explaining the reasons why you are here. And you did say that you will be continuing with the protest, not just today. We have seen other protests that have happened since the 7th of October, around the 7th of October. Last week there was a protest as well around the Zoo Lake area. There were protests in Cape Town as well. There was a protest in the capital as well, Rafiwa. So there have been protests throughout the month of October, now leading up into November. They are pro-Palestine protests, and you will see that sign again that no freedom, our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians.
Thank you very much for that update. That is eNCA's Hloni Mtimkulu. And we stick around the theme of Agoa when we return from our short ad break. But we look at the 4 countries, African countries, that will now be excluded from that agreement going forward. The United States President Joe Biden citing human rights violations, really not aligning with what the United States stand for. We unpack this when we return. Don't want to go away.